Saturday, 11th of April, 2026 at 1:27 p.m. here in Amsterdam, North Holland, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Welcome once again to our cosmic journey. It is your dev and design podcast featuring two gentle boys who rearranged their space and now feel a whole lot better about their corporate offices. Yeah. I am your rearranger, the designer Jake. He is also your rearranger, the engineer Trey. Hello, Trey.
Hello, designer Jake.
How is the rearranged work? Like, look, the fake lemon tree, which is, sorry, she doesn't like being called Trey. She doesn't like being called Jake. She likes to be called real adjacent. The real adjacent lemon tree is up here now. Feeling good about that.
With the $85 placard underneath.
Yeah, you can't, I don't know if you can see, it's right there, the $85 placard. So if anyone wants to buy her, she is she is the concept of $85, I should say. She's not $85. How are you doing this spring day?
I'm doing great. We were social this morning.
We were social. Weirdly. We did so much in this sprint, or excuse me, we don't call it a sprint, we call it a cycle. Yep. We feel great.
Yes.
We had our first warm day of the season. Let's talk about what makes up a warm day. And you might be like, well, warm is just a subjective thing. It's just subjective for everyone.
Not in the
Wrong,
Netherlands.
Incorrect. Warm is over 20 degrees.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you for asking. Learn it. Today's episode is called Vastpectarian, and we will not only have a demo of Sync, which you may have seen before many, many times.
And you're going to keep seeing it,
Mr. Henry.
Done.
But you will also see a demo from me showing the Aspectarian, and probably also eliciting maybe big feelings from you all about what we are doing with the Aspectarian. But we can hold off on your big feelings. Put them in the comments below once you have.
We know you will.
We know you will.
And we love it.
After we do all that, we give you thanks. That will be wonderful. But before we do all of that, of course, we always start with the check-in question. Mr. Henry, it is your check-in question. Let us go forth and check in and be well.
It sounded like the end of the episode.
It did sound. That was not the end. That is not the that's not my valedictory speech. This was the introductory speech. Mr. Henry, go.
What aspect was formed between you and work this week?
What aspect was formed between me and work this week? The aspect was not challenging. It was supportive, but it was not completely supportive. So its orb was weak. I feel like it's an applying sextile, maybe a trine. It does feel like it had Saturn involved, which everyone would be upset about, but Saturn being one of my big old first house planets that defines my character, I think it was really beneficial. Sextile, applying with Saturn, not Mercury. We can tell it's not beneficial from the things coming out of my mouth. Let's say it was Venus, because it was a lot of design work. What about you, Mr. Henry?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you threw some planets and stuff in there. I was just thinking
excuse me, just go for the aspect. All right.
Yeah. Well, no, however you want to answer. I love that answer.
Who knows?
For me, it was also very supportive. I had my largest number of points completed in a cycle, which is kind of an arbitrary sort of stat.
Do we give snaps for that?
It felt like that too.
It feels like, what? We're supportive with our fingers, we're doubting with our face. Supporting with our fingers, doubting with our face.
It's a very drag queen move. Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff done on Sync and everything, and I feel like it was very supportive. So I'm going to go with an applying fairly close trine. I think me and work were.
What planets would you say? You're definitely not feeling Saturn and Venus trine though.
You know what? I would put Saturn in the mix because it was grindy. It was super grindy. I had a over 12-hour day at one point just to power grind through a particularly hard problem in Sync. And I'm excited that we're going to get to done with that today.
Me too. Well, all right.
So I would throw Saturn in the mix, but I would also throw Venus in the mix.
Saturn and Venus applying trine.
Yeah. No, let's say Jupiter. No, it's Jupiter because it was expansive.
It was expansive.
I'm going to say a Jupiter Saturn trine. So it was both of the big daddies kind of getting along.
Big Daddy getting along. Big snaps for Big Daddies. All right, let's talk a little bit about what we had accomplished this cycle, including a little bit of design work that I had already alluded to. We now have in prototype, so not ready for you, an Aspectarian. And I understand that this was a very necessary thing for you all to do. And for you to need to do your work, because you need an overview of all of the aspects within a moment and aspects across moment. The prototype that I'm going to show you is only showing a single moment, and it's only showing it on desktop for now. And the things that I would like to impress upon you are the ways in which we are evolving the Aspectarian to be more useful for you. That's what I want you to take away from this.
And this is it's an evolving process. So we get feedback.
Hey, this is a conversation. Yeah. So if you would like to speak into my design life, let us know in the comments or write us hello@cosmic.plumbing. You just heard the bling right there that had happened there.
Jake is always open to feedback.
I'm always open to feedback, and at no time would I ever shut down feedback, because feedback is a gift, and I'm here to take all of your gifts, no matter how stinky they are. Okay, this over here is cosmic, and I'm doing it in stellar light because I feel like we always show things in stellar dark, and why not show things in stellar light for a little bit? And what I'm going to do is go to the pretty great Mars election, because I accidentally found this Mars election on the 10th of September, 2027 here in Amsterdam. And I think it's pretty good. You let me know in the comments if you agree that this is the right Mars election for you. You'll notice that the chart is going off of the screen at the bottom here. And yeah, that's a problem. But the reason that it's going off the bottom is because we have put this thing up here where it says chart and aspects up at the top, because now you can switch from the chart view to the Aspectarian view. And because we do the calculations from the top of the screen, or the top of the bar here, calculations got wrong. It's prototype code, it happens. Let me switch to aspects here. And you'll also notice that things are kind of like moving off to the left-hand side here and stuff like that. But now what you have here is a full-on Aspectarian. It is not perfect. It shows you the aspect. It shows you whether it's applying or separating. It doesn't show you how tight that aspect is, how close to orb it is. So if I click on this applying trine between the sun and the moon, you can see here that it does nothing. Right, I forgot. That doesn't do anything. But if I click on the moon, then you can see that there is the applying trine between the moon and the sun, and it is at 56 minutes. It's pretty tight. It should show that. Notice also the selection circle's all messed up. That happens in prototype code as well. But now, like, you'll see here that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 aspects here for the moon. And that over here on the right-hand side, you can see that there are 4 applying aspects and 4 separating aspects for the moon in this single moment. Turder. So we're at least calculating it correctly.
It would suck if those were different.
If those were different, boy, oh boy, would this be a terrible, terrible demo.
Yeah.
So why is this a better Aspectarian? For me, the reason why it's better is that because these placements can be clicked on and then you can go inspect the placement, that to me is already better. You can also click the placements over here on the left-hand side as well. Clicking on the aspects, I would imagine, would jump you to that aspect in the placement list. So it would jump you here, but we haven't done that yet, and we would need to play with it in order to see whether that is something that we would like. The thing that I like the most about this, though, is that much like in the chart, if I jump back over to the chart and I go down to a smaller, ooh, is this gonna mess up the screen? Here, I'm gonna go here for a second. It might mess up the kind of screen sizing here. So you're gonna see some weird borders on this, don't worry about it. And what you see here is that this is the list view of the chart that we had talked about a long time ago in an episode far, far away. And I could sort by different things here. I could sort by house placement, zodiacal longitude, Chaldean order, what I'm calling the classic sequence, placement name ascending or placement name descending. So if I jump back over to the aspects over here, you will see the same sort sequences here. House placement, zodiacal longitude, blah, blah, blah. Because if you can sort a list of placements in a chart when it's a linear set of placements, why not also do that in the Aspectarian? So if I don't want to see things in the classic sequence where I start with the luminaries and then I go by speed essentially until we have the rest of the stuff, I could instead say, well, I would like it in Chaldean order. Or I would like it by house placement. So obviously the ascendant is in the first, but the next planet in the first house is Mars. And you can see that this is all ordered by that sort by. And I had never seen before a Aspectarian that actually could be sorted in a certain way. And I like it. I think it's going to be very useful to practitioners that want to kind of change the way that they are looking at things, as long as we are always offering the classic sequence first because that's the thing that people are very anchored to. But I think that it's a nice innovation. Of course, you will let me know. You will, of course, let me know in the comments today what you think about all of this. And also, if you want to let us know about lots of different ways that you want to slice and dice your data as a practitioner, you can always write us and do an hour-long session with us. We love doing user research, and we love hearing your opinions about all of that stuff.
And sometimes we even give people money for it.
Sometimes we do.
We give away little
gift cards and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're into gift cards, and not gift cards to Amazon, but like to places that are actually cool, you'd let us know, and we're here for you. So that is the Aspectarian. Big snaps for that. Mr. Henry, let's talk about sync and how you had done with sync.
Yeah, the Aspectarian, I think, is a really nice blend between a traditional Aspectarian where you've got, you know, sort of the triangle view, and also then being able to like provide interactivity and all that kind of stuff. I think it's actually really cool.
We're trying. We're trying to do something here.
You know, we will experiment with how much fidelity of data we should have there as well. Like, you know, in what way do we portray the strength of the aspect and things like that?
Yeah, we're going to do better than what I've seen in other tools. That's my promise to you. Okay.
We made amazing progress on sync this week, and it's actually mostly pretty close. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Yep, we're looking at your screen.
I don't know how much border you can see, but we're going to be flipping back and forth between.
Yeah, we can see windows. Everything. We can see everything.
Perfect. And I'm just going to log in here. Which everybody.
And we cut that out too. So there we go.
So there we go. So now we're on our screen here, and if we come over to our
second window,
which we are not logged in on, I'm going to quickly log in here.
We're going to cut this out too.
No, this one you can't cut out because once we log in here, we wait a couple seconds.
Blurp.
Voila. Now you'll notice that there is no chart here.
We saw that last week.
And that's still not fixed, so I'm just going to reload here, and then you can see the chart.
Yeah.
We're still needing to refresh the chart list on sync, but also keep in mind that the demo that I'm doing is not a demo that users are generally going to do, right? Like you're not going to generally be flipping between two screens on the same same physical device, but it is good for demo. So let's open up our little chart here
in window number 1, and then let's open up in window number 2.
Exactly. And then I can come over here and I'll rename this to poo chart. And then if I come back over here and we give it a second, poo chart.
Bam.
And then if I want to cast a new moment, I can say this is a now moment. And now we've got a cycling now moment.
And this was a huge problem.
And here we are on our other screen, and it's now working. This was a very big problem in sync before. We had like a pretty messy scenario here.
Yeah.
And this is all now working correctly. I can come over here. I can delete this and come back over here. And
then it deletes on screen 2.
I can also I'm going to add another movable event here, and then I can move through time. And once I decide that I'm going to be done,
stop.
Then we can switch back over to the other window, and you can see that this is now
boop. There it is.
To the correct thing. And so chart sync is obviously working now. And then if I go to settings, also the other thing that we can do now is, I don't think I wasn't able to demo this last time.
Right, it wasn't working before.
Yeah, so if I open something and I'll say, and then save it. And then we have this. And then if I go back over here and I go to settings, then you can see that it's there. And if I set it as the default and I go back to the other window,
it will move as the default.
I didn't click on that.
You didn't click on it. It looked like you clicked. You don't do it again because it looked like you clicked on it.
Okay, here, I'll send it back to Cosmic Holland.
Now move your mouse away.
Oh, look at that.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, so basically sync is mostly working. There's one more kind of medium-sized moving piece here, and then there's a bunch of polished things like making sure that this chart view updates and dealing with some rough edges. But for the most part, sync is like ready to land, which is crazy.
And if you are the type of person that wants to see features early, join our Inner Ring program. Of course, you can do that by writing us at hello@cosmic.plumbing. Yes, you heard the twinkle 2 times in that one. Mr. Henry.
2 twinkles.
Mr. Henry, this is like a 15-minute episode and we had 2 demos. That's kind of crazy.
That's what we always do, right? Like when we have actually meaningful things to show, the videos usually.
So what you're saying is that when we actually put our energy into work, we don't put we don't waste the energy towards the viewer. I appreciate that. What should the good viewer do with their 11th of April, 2026, wherever they are at?
Find your local market, your local like open air market. Maybe it's for groceries, maybe it's for tchotchkes, who knows? And just go there and buy something cool.
Buy a tchotchke.
Yeah, buy some fresh fruit.
Buy some fresh fruit.
Yeah.
It's there for you. Be well. Take care. Have yourself a lovely Saturday, whatever day you watch this video. We love seeing your faces every single week. We're going to see you again next week. We'll be here. Hopefully you will be too. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.